Goedenavond en van harte welkom bij Quarantalks vanuit de Muziekgieterij in het Sphinxkwartier in Maastricht. En mijn gast vanavond is een heel bijzondere gast. Het is namelijk een gast die uit Limburg komt, maar heel veel succes heeft in het buitenland. Die van Zuid-Amerika tot Rusland voor uitverkochte zalen speelt. En dus ook heel veel fans heeft in het buitenland. En dat is de reden dat we niet in het Limburgs, ook niet in het Nederlands, maar in het Engels gaan praten. Dat doe ik met mijn gast BlabberMouf. Welkom.
Thanks, man.
Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me, man.
Every guest in Quarantalks gets the same question. Could you bring some items that sort of summarize this last year for you? You brought this item. It's very special. It's a flight schedule.
Yes, it is.
It's a schedule of your last flight.
Yes,
last year. It was on March 18th. That was the weekend when the lockdown started.
That was the week when everything started to shut down, basically. Yeah.
And your last flight, you flew from, let me see, from Chile, Santiago de Chile. You flew to Sao Paulo in Brazil to Amsterdam.
Yes, well, to Paris, and from Paris, to Amsterdam.
I see it. Yeah. Did you enjoy your last flight for a long, long time?
Well, the actual last flight from Paris to Amsterdam, I did quite enjoy it because I was back in Europe. We were back in Europe, and we knew for sure that we was going to get home. So, but the other flights, like the flight from Santiago to Brazil, and especially the layover in Brazil, which was 9 hours or something, and flights were still getting cancelled left and right, so it was a bit stressful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And yeah, eventually we did actually miss our flight from Paris to Amsterdam.
Okay.
Because yeah, we arrived in Paris and there was limited personnel, so a lot of people were funneled into this security check, and it was super busy. And yeah, our connecting flight only had, I don't know, 50 minutes between it. So we missed it in like 10 minutes or something, but we could board the next flight immediately to go to Amsterdam. So
did you ever, in all these hours, fear that you would never come back home again?
Well, there was one moment in Brazil, in São Paulo, and we were boarding the flight, and it was our turn to show the ticket to the flight attendants and enter the plane. And I give my passport, and she's like, "Oh, there's something with your passport, sir." And for a second, I just kind of panicked, like, what's going on? And then she walked over. I had to follow her or something. And then it appeared we got upgraded from economy to something with bigger leg room or something like that. So
something for artists.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. I just mentioned in the intro that you have a lot of success solo and as a member of the collective Het Verzet, the resistance, in a lot of other countries like Russia, Poland and South America. How did that start?
Well, I guess the ball kind of got rolling when in 2010 we did a cypher video with Het Verzet, and yeah, we uploaded it to YouTube. At first, a couple members of the crew were like, "No, I don't like it. Let's not upload it." But one of the guys, Dope, he said, "Nah, I'm gonna upload it anyway." So we uploaded the video, and nothing really happened for a couple months. And then all of a sudden, the video got picked up in Russia and a few other places. And yeah, it basically went viral. And then 2 years later, we dropped a debut album with Het Verzet, Greatest Shits. And the same year, I also dropped my solo debut album. And in December 2012 is when I first went to Greece, which is my first international gig. And then in February 2013, we went with the whole Het Verzet to Russia, to St. Petersburg and Moscow. And after that, like the booking requests, they kind of kept coming from all sorts of places. We made some partnerships with some booking offices, and yeah, we just kept doing it, and also putting a lot of our own effort in it to find new connections. And yeah, basically it was an addiction. Let's say it like that. I just wanted to be on the stage in front of people as much as I could be. So we put in a lot of time and effort to do that. So.
And was there never a problem with the name of the collective, Het Verzet, because they don't understand that name in for instance Russia?
Yeah, it's funny because in Russia some of the fans, they were rapping along Dutch lyrics. So it also puzzled us, like, how is this, how? But yeah, the music is just a universal language. They totally understand the energy, and if you're a true fan, you put some time into it to maybe translate the lyrics and see what this is about. But most of the lyrics are really like braggadocious, and we of course have storytelling lyrics, but yeah, it's a lot about the energy that people understand. So.
Yeah. The funny thing is that's a big cliche saying that, you know, like energy is universal and music is universal and it doesn't matter what language but you experience that like in real life.
Yeah, we experienced it firsthand.
Yeah.
Like, because not just in Russia and also South America, where people, yeah, American artists get booked there, but people in general don't really speak English, you know. But it's the same thing. They're a part of the hip hop culture and they understand what it is that we're trying to do. So.
Yeah. How did you learn English so well yourself? Was it as a child that you like watch a lot of movies or read a lot of comics or games or?
Yeah, all of that actually.
Okay.
Because I think I was 6 years old or something, and all the cartoons and all that stuff, movies were always in English because nothing was synchronized in those days. So yeah, I just decided I want to learn that, and I did, and I became a pretty fluent speaker pretty quickly.
And it felt like really natural from the scratch to also write your lyrics in English.
Yes, yeah, man. Like, yeah, it's easy for me to express in English. So,
yeah, because in those days you had like the first chapter, you could say, of Dutch hip hop, of like you had Oslo Posse and Extins, and there were after that came Opgezwollen, and you had a lot of good examples of people of like writing lyrics in Dutch. So I could imagine that they would have been like examples for you, but you
they
chose
are
another
actually
path.
Because I think all of the people you just mentioned, they started out as English MCs, and they made the switch to Dutch because they wanted to change the scene as well. And the Dutch language, like to them, it just made sense. Why don't I just rap in my mother language, you know? And they changed the scene of hip hop in the Netherlands with that, and that's super cool, you know. And those people definitely inspire me. And actually, lately I've been playing around with writing some Dutch lyrics. There's a track floating around with a Dutch verse of it on it from me. I don't know when it's gonna come out, if it's gonna come out, but it was pretty cool, you know. But
did you like it? Did you like doing it?
I liked it. I was actually a bit surprised because of it, because yeah, I've been in my English zone for very, very long, and to switch it up was also refreshing in a way. And yeah, I didn't sound too much different from how I sound and when I rap in English, so that was also cool to me. Like,
I can imagine it's funny that after all these years you can still sort of surprise yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was also some other good MCs around me that kind of pushed me to, hey, just do it, man, it's gonna be dope. Like, yeah, I'm not sure, man. But yeah, I just did it. I got in the same type of vibe when I write in another language. So
yeah,
it's just like the way that you judge your own work is maybe a bit different, because you're not used to judging, or in my case, judging my own Dutch lyrics like I am used to defining how good an English verse is besides a Dutch verse, for instance, because I haven't practiced writing Dutch verses that much yet. So I kind of depend on other good Dutch rappers to say, yeah, this is good and this could be better. So I could become better at that as well and learn.
Yeah.
So
your very first lyrics when you were a child, do you remember where you wrote about? What were the topics?
I think the very first lyrics were just really basic type of rhymes, just learning all the words that rhyme. But I don't remember too much of my old work, because to me at that point I was just fooling around and I wasn't taking it too serious at that point. So it became more serious after, when I started to have more fun with it. And I realized, oh, I could maybe be really good at this. So, yeah.
Yeah. Did you listen to a lot of hip-hop when you were a child?
Yes. But...
and how did you discover new artists or artists that
Well,
were
at the
new for you?
beginning, it was just like surface level type of hip hop commercial. I'm talking about like the year 2000 is when I started to develop my musical taste. Before that, I also really enjoyed rap, but I couldn't really define why I liked it so much. So yeah, around that time, it was like, I think 50 Cent had his debut album out, his big major label debut, and Dr. Dre, The Chronic, and those type of albums. That's what I was listening to around then. And it was all, that's super commercial stuff. But after that, I met other people who, Elmatic, for instance, another member of FZ, who had an older brother with a gigantic music collection. And
That's always good.
Yeah.
The older brother with the big
Yeah,
vinyl
exactly.
collection.
So we stole a lot of that from him to listen to it, you know, and just really soak up all the different type of hip-hop music that's been made over the years. And yeah, learn from it, study it, basically. So, yeah.
I've seen some footage of your live footage of you playing in Russia and in South America, and people go like crazy there. Is there a big difference if I would like sort of blindfold you and would you put you on stage somewhere? Would you like after 1 minute know where you're playing?
Depends, I guess. Maybe. Like it's. I always try to read the crowd before a show. Like if there's a warm-up act or something, I just kind of analyze what the room temperature is, basically, and how I can say the right things to get the people feeling the vibe, basically. So sometimes it's easy, you know, if you have a room full of people that already have been drinking and warmed up, then you don't have to work too hard. I mean, you give the energy, but it's not like the work you have to do when you're in front of a half-filled venue.
Yeah.
Then you have to really put an effort to get the people closer and get the right atmosphere going. But if you have just a few people that have the right energy, then you can already make a good party pretty fast. So, but maybe I could tell if you put me in some room and it's like, okay, this could be, I don't know, Germany or something, or maybe if it's South America, it would be easy to tell. But
how come?
Just because of how it would look, the venue, how it would look, and the people themselves. You know, the Latin people, they're very expressive and they feel the music to the fullest.
There's a lot of emotional energy in those rooms. Yeah. I asked you to bring a few items. The other one is your last EP. This one. I show it to the camera.
Blastmaster Blab.
Yeah. Was this crazy year? Was this in creative ways a good year for you?
Yes. Yes, it was. Definitely. I think when before the Corona crisis started, I always appreciated. I love doing the live shows, but I also realized after a while that it takes a lot of energy, also, and maybe at that point I started to become a bit tired of also doing the music because I was sometimes postponing getting to work, basically. Because I was tired from a tour or whatever.
Yeah, with flight schedules like that one, I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this year was pretty crazy because I also kind of went to, I started working with a different producer from our city, Snida.
Also in Heerlen.
Yeah, in Heerlen. And yeah, it just kind of changed the way I made my tracks over there. Because in my own studio, when I create a track, I usually, it's not super premeditated always, but I usually hear a beat and I hear a melody in my head and I create the hook with that, and usually the hook comes pretty easy and then I have to start writing the rap parts, the verses, and then sometimes I got stuck in that part because maybe I was writing too slow or whatever it may have been at that point, but then that track would be put to the side and I would just choose the day to record it. And so for some tracks, it was really hard to get back into the vibe because I was in another mode than when I made it. So I have to recreate the vibe that I had when I first made it, when I go back to record the real thing, basically. And that part of the process kind of slowed me down sometimes.
Is it also because you seem to put a lot of effort and work in your lyrics? It's not like it sounds good, so it's good.
Well, sometimes something is written really fast, but then I put a lot of time into perfecting the way that I recorded it. Like to make sure that the pitch is exactly right everywhere, the keys have to match with the beat. And sometimes the keys and the beat are broken because it's not a clean key because it's pitched or whatever. So you have to find how to use the voice in the best way in those beats. Which I just sometimes got stuck, you know. And then if I tried to record and I wasn't happy, I was like, okay, try again tomorrow, or maybe take a few days off from this track. But since at that time it was like I worked track for track, so if the process wasn't going well, then my whole process would be it wasn't moving. And now I create basically with the new album, everything is almost created on the spot. So I don't record a part and leave the vibe and come back, but I stay in the vibe until the song is finished.
But it's not, I don't know how big your house is, but the other studio was in your house. So I can imagine that if you don't finish a track, then you're sitting on your couch, and somewhere like there in the corner, there's the studio, and there's that track that isn't finished.
Yeah, the studio is looming. You know, like in the back of my garden, the studio is looming. Like, you haven't.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You have to finish this tune, and even if I was sort of happy with it, sometimes I couldn't even find if I was happy with the track. I recorded it in a moment, and I came back to it and listened to it like, man, is this right? Recorded again, and then you're like, this also isn't right. So if you listen to the first recording, like, okay, this was actually better than what I did now, so it's better to keep the original recording. It's once again a point of trying to recreate a vibe, which can be really difficult to achieve.
Yeah. So now you have another producer and another studio in the same city, in Heerlen, but we're not allowed to go outside after 9 o'clock. So what does that mean? You have to be finished before 9, or you go to the other studio at 9 and you stay until 4:30?
That's a possibility. I think that's definitely going to happen. But for now, I think the next session we planned is going to be, we start earlier in the afternoon and I go home before 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then that's that. But there will definitely be nights where we can't reschedule it that easy. So
but is there a difference? I mean, you just talked about the difference between the vibe you had yesterday and the vibe you have today for a song. But is also a difference between producing and recording, like in the afternoon or at night or like in the early morning?
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of factors in that. I don't know. I guess it depends on how well rested you are. You know, if I had a session in the night, I would just do, during the day, I would just do all my other regular tasks, maybe some administration or organize some stuff, and not really chill, you know, but do like work type of stuff.
Yeah.
So at night, I could be like, this is my relaxing time, you know, this is also work, but I use it to totally find my relaxation and create the song like that. You know, with that type of energy.
Yeah. Are you happy now with the new material?
Yeah, super happy actually. I'm super excited. And there's also, besides the new album, there's also a lot of other material that I still have on the shelf. I produced the album, or me and SQB and Elmatic made an album together in 2018. It hasn't been released yet, and we're gonna finish it also this year to put it out. And yeah, me and Elmatic also have an album which we've been making over the years between our solo careers. So it's taking some time, but it's also gonna be a really good project.
Cool. We're talking a lot about hip hop, but there's another big musical love in your life, and that's reggae.
Yeah.
Did that start in that same period when you were very young, or did that?
Yeah, that kind of came later.
Later.
It came a little bit later when I started to find hip-hop that had a lot of reggae influences in it. So I started to dig more in that. And then you eventually come in also the dub music and stuff like that with MCs on it, you know. but yeah, that came later. And also Anton from Head for Z crew, he was already doing that type of stuff when we weren't yet. So he was also a big inspiration to us to spit those type of melodies over boom bap beats. So, and yeah, it's like a new type of thing to us because we always just use the right bars.
Yeah.
With not too much emphasis on melody or whatever, we just wrote our verses. And now it's more, because of the reggae thing, it's really turned more into in song creation, you know, into making different elements of the song with different type of things. You know, also singing and harmonies and stuff like that. So.
I just said I saw some footage of you playing in Russia and in South America with like people going crazy. Now you're going to perform for us in a completely empty Muziekgieterij. Is that new for you? Like the vibe of not having an audience, nobody's giving any energy back. They are at home, but you don't feel it.
It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, but I've done it before. For my Blastmaster Blab release, I organized my own live stream show at Husky Studios in Heerlen, and it was the sound. Well, it was empty. It was in a studio booth basically, and me and Almatic, my backup MC, who usually tours with me, and yeah, it was great. Like, first time I had also in-ear monitoring, which was really a delight, because I felt really free on the microphone, and I could perform the way it's intended, basically. Not that it doesn't work like this, but it's a different type. It was a bit new to me, I guess. So
I can imagine. It's going to be like that again. We're very happy to have you here. Who's going to be your MC today?
Say what? Sorry.
Who's going to be your MC or your DJ today?
Oh, I have Jules. Jules heads up in the house. He's going to help me with some of the backups and the DJing part for today. So,
cool.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to leave the stage. I'm going to take this chair with me.
All right, man.
I'm going to enjoy your performance. I hope you will.
Yes, sir.
Yourself. Good luck.
Thanks, man.
Ha. Check it, check. What? It's Mr. BlabberMouf in the house. For all the people out there that know, you gotta put in that work to get what you want. And we gon' set it off like this. Like I said, it's Mr. BlabberMouf in the house. Check it out now. I put in work some more till we get it for sure. Yo, it's been a long time coming for me to hit you with the funky type of shit that we be ripping. Yo, we keep creating something out of nothing. And get my peeps involved, represent my squad. Don't worry, yo, we keeping it 100. I put in work some more till we get it for sure. Yo, it's been a long time coming. Yeah. So tell me who I fi test, who that? The shit I kick, I go over your head like a do-rag. You do that, I'm booming when I'm on the mic like Lupe. You losers ain't with it, you can suck it like a juice pop. Move back, don't say no confrontation. Can't ride like I guess, I can fit to like a waste man. Spit it so fly, I guess, I like aviation. Always on the grind, I keep it up from day to day. I'm living in the moment while you're lost in yesterday. My focus is ferocious, flow is dopeness for your brain. I harmonize, energize, with the music synchronized. Leave them rappers horrified, cause of the way we on the rise. When it comes to rap, you're talking to a guy personified. When it comes to tracks, I murder them and I apologize. More than qualified for the operation at hand. Serve him some more hits for as long as it's in the man. I put in work some more till we get it for sure. A show has been a long time coming for me to hit you with the funky type of shit that we be ripping. Yo, we keep creating something out of nothing. And get my beats involved, represent my squad. Don't worry, yo, we keeping it 100. I put in work some more till we get it for sure. A show has been a long time coming. So I hit them with that rush shit, funk shit. Anytime I bless it, no stressing, yes, positivity, I'm attracted. Ready for action, busting cuss like hitting nothing. Even double negatives can't deny this shit's bumping. Keep it 100, better get 1,000 like Lucas. This that underground shit, they cause they're exclusive. So roll up, some noodles spark on my creative juices. They bug it, on my last track, I'm already on some new shit. But I ain't DJ Clue, to tell the truth, I've been dropping fire since my debut. Sensational since I said it, it's incredible too. Bust a tune like a bust a fool, clipping the fool. Licking it smooth, spit anything better than you. Where rappers sound repetitive and forgettable too. You will remember this dude, cause I've been showing and proving. Don't get it misconstrued, yo, you know what I'm doing. I put in work some more till I get it for sure. Cause yo, it's been a long time coming for me to hit you with the funky type of shit that we be ripping. Yo, we keep creating something out of nothing. And keep my peeps involved, represent my squad. Don't worry, yo, we keeping it 100. I put in work some more till we get it for sure. It's always been a long time coming. I put in work some more till we get it for sure. It's always been a long time coming. But we gotta keep on till it blows up, y'all. So that means we got more tunes coming. I put in work some more till we get it for sure. It's always been a long time coming. But we gotta keep on till it blows up, y'all. So that means we got more tunes coming. Yeah, ha. Yeah, watch my status escalate. Hey yo, I put in work. Watch my status escalate. I said I put in work. Hey yo, come, running my plan. I'm the better man. Put in work. Hey yo, and watch my status escalate. Like that. All right. Let me just have a sip of this. Yeah, roll up the goddess, I can meant to take touch. Who would have ever thought that we would make it this far? Loaded another beat as I keep the mic on me. Yeah. Come on. So I say roll up the goddess, I can meant to take touch. Who would have ever thought that we would make it this far? Loaded another beat as I keep the mic on me. Yeah. Come on. And I'm ready for more. Hit me with that tour around the earth, man. Can't say that I never miss home, but I just know it's worth it. Blabbermastic ambassador, hip-hop MC. Told them you was better than me. Music ain't no violence needed. So another 20 clip is emptied in the track like another gun to make my gat go. Perfectly spiritually and mentally equipped. Plus physically built so I can go on and on in time condition is real. Yeah, not lyrical skill. I make the last. Steady building what you hear with is of dedication to my craft. It all falls into place. I get my focus up. Healthy meals and exercise to level up. Plus fat splits, Bonani watts so I can write if I'm ripping to write the next one done. I'm all set when it comes to writing albums, bruh. Still underrated, I'm telling you, dudes, you might be able to rap. 80 never like what the flow and Dutchmen do. So one time, straight up, come with it. I'm on the rise with head nodding, funk for your system. Zero fucks is giving this crazy gift to Mr. Blabber. No need to explain my name. The only thing that matters. Like one time, straight up, come with it. I'm on the rise with head nodding, funk for your system. Zero fucks is giving this crazy gift to Mr. Blabber. So I say somebody wanna be one of them, I can never give up with this hot shit. The typical mindset statement of shows like I can't. Some of them call me number one, some of them call me insane. Call me what you want, but don't call me till it's time to do my set. Kindly sit down for a drink. Maybe roll a split through my face, seldom merge meet the fans to the cash and split. It's hardly time for a party. When you have to catch a fight, my squad be rolling hard. Give it a dig, be killing it in the night. It's all I be ripping apart, the globally ripping these mics like butt. Marley, I be sipping it up, I get it on my spit hype. Roll up the yard and part of my friends. Rappers is retarded, brainwashing the target audience till it starts to make sense. It's garbage, part of the market, and I'm bothered, but this where the problem starts when they call it hip-hop, cause that ain't it. Oh, fuck the bullshit. Ninja Pack C, they ain't blessed. Motherfuckers, but now some of these verses from my brain like one time. Straight up, come with it. I'm on the rise with head nodding, funk for your system. Zero bucks is giving this crazy gift to Mr. Blabber. No need to explain my name, the only thing that matters. Like one time, straight up, come with it. I'm on the rise with head nodding, funk for your system. Zero bucks is giving this crazy gift to Mr. Blabber. Yeah, so I say roll up the yard as I can meant to take charge. Who would have ever thought that we would make it this far? Loaded another beat as I keep the mic on me. Yeah, come on. So I say roll up the yard as I can meant to take charge. Who would have ever thought that we would make it this far? Loaded another beat as I keep the mic on me. Yeah, come on. We on the rise, y'all. We on the rise, y'all. Shuffle in the house of Mr. BlabberMouf, y'all. We the shit you don't believe, come see it live, y'all. Spin my rhymes and kick with Jesus spitting all the time, y'all. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Yes, represent half of Zach crew. Fat flavor in the house too. Yep. Rock to the beat, yo. Oyelo, to all my peoples. Pato mi gente, Sudamérica, ha. Concha tu madre, ten cuidado. Ahora voy a hacerle que ver. A soltar un son a norte del planeta, where I'm at. Representa mi forma de vivir y de actuar. Controlar el micrófono, hacer volar el lugar. Gozando el mar, los pasos como si fuera flaquear. No sé de límites cuando tengo que improvisar. No es al azar, en cámara santa yo está practicando. Quemando el gol y alma para enviarte matizarlo. Nací para llevarlo donde sea que me encuentre. Para toda mi gente, uno frío flow caliente. Haciendo mis movidas siempre entre con continente sprigido come aguardente, determinati intenti, the flow and dustman, rima intensifico, sacada de competencia, raperos que para de hip hop, I'm devilish the streets, brothers album, babaditos, manteniéndolo con vida, cada escenario que piso, óyelo, what? Manteniéndolo con vida, cada escenario que piso, óyelo, what? Los que hace que sepamos que ese estilo no se extinto. Yeah. Big up to my man Jules, by the way, in the house. Being my DJ today. And definitely go check out my new EP, Blastmaster Blab. Also the latest single, Put in Work. And yeah, for the Blastmaster Blab, we got another last tune, and it goes like this. Check it out. Ha! Check it out. Hey, yo. Come on, hey. Give a party people something funky to listen to. Ha. I said, give a party people something, yeah. No tiene que ser perfecto, solo debe ser puro. Así es como lo hacemos aquí, seguimos siendo crudo. Tranquilo, si no puro vino, you know we know how to. De la calle sabemos cómo llevarte a lo alto. Micrófono controlando, dada la vida, living it up. La calle, me quiere, me give it, whenever we pop on. Suelto funk, a veces como esa. Esta es la clave de saber cuál. Dale volumen, encendemos el spa. Quiero verlos bien prendidos, vengo cuellos quebrar. Ya conoces mi juego, mi boca es arma de fuego. Cada rima que entrego, siempre el blanco le pego. Hablador brillante, ego para mis hispanos compas. De Bogotá, Santiago, que anda soltando bombas. Arriba de la pobla, registrándose en vinilo. Sonido campeón, ya veces es mi estilo. Here we go, Alex shots for my people. Vengo a inundar las calles con los ritmos más estrictos. Dime si estés listo, yo no voy a fallar. Cause me and never do another that one. Here we go, Alex shots for my people. Vengo a inundar las calles con los ritmos más estrictos. Dime si estés listo, yo no voy a fallar. Cause me and never do another that one. Falsa gente en mi círculo no puedo aceptar. No hay lugar para tóxicos que mata mi paz. Buena suerte, espero no volver a verte. Déjame que con mi música y los que seguir presentes. Harta va, animarte, elevarte, liberarte. Trata de llevarte, mate mi variante. Si se empata, por lo menos por mi parte. Otra alternativa, sigue arriba, viva misiva, distintiva, exclusiva. Es mi vida. What's it, best I breathe, but let me breathe. Leave a trail of hopes and double T's and try to test my steeds. Wanna be son enemies, no tiene que ser aquí. Nadie los necesita, son igual que la police. Fuck on, la historia por sí sola se explica. Así que prosigamos como el hip hop lo dicta. With the whoop whoop, I'm Blabberman, I still flipper. Mi mente no descansa when I enter, here we go. Alex shots for my people. Vengo a inundar las calles con los ritmos más estrictos. Dime si estés listo, yo no voy a fallar. Cause we ain't never doing none of that one. Here we go, Alex shots for my people. Vengo a inundar las calles con los ritmos más estrictos. Dime si estés listo, yo no voy a fallar. Cause we ain't never doing none of that one. Hey, 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 hey. We ain't never doing none of that one, no. Come on. We ain't never doing none of that one, no. I said we ain't never doing none of that one, no. We ain't never doing none of that one. Ha. Once again, big up the happy set. All my people's in the house. Fat flavor, turn it down. This was the Mr. BlabberMouf. Peace, y'all. Bless. Much love.
Thanks a lot, BlabberMouf. Thank you, Jules.
Yes.
Thanks for watching wherever you are. Russia, Chile, Brazil, everywhere. You've been watching Quarantalks straight out of Muziekgieterij, Maastricht, de Netherlands. Dankjewel voor het kijken. Dit was Quarantalks voor vanavond. Volgende week zijn we er weer om 8:30 vanuit de Muziekgieterij hier in Maastricht. Dan met broeder Dieleman. Hopelijk tot dan.